I arrived in Rio after spending much time in Sao Paolo. I took a Flixbus with a panorama seat because I believed there would be this epic view that I could be enjoying between the two states. I was, however, very disappointed because there just wasn't much epicness to look at. It was just a road. There was another foreigner in the bus, a British guy. And upon first interaction, he didn't seem to realize that he was not in the UK anymore. And that made me a bit concerned for his safety. Now, the time I spent in Sao Paulo was all in all quite peaceful. But then I entered Rio. As we entered the city, we saw a very large group of inhabitants surrounding a fire, holding sticks in their hands, and we just didn't know what was going on. And I just tried to film it, but the camera I was using back then, it just couldn't capture it. As you can see in the video, you just see the sirens and just a fire source. But it's hard to see the inhabitants that were there, and they just surrounded the whole area. And I still don't know what happened in that scenario. But things seemed to get wild before we even entered the city. I looked over to the British guy and I saw the panic in his face. Which made me feel like, okay, he finally understands that he's in a different place right now. He was watching something he had never seen before. A possible group of vigilantes coming together. Possible lawlessness. A possible act of violence. We got off at Novo Rio and I had no idea where I was at. But I saw several other foreigners who all seemed to be looking for contact with each other. That was more out of a concern for security than wanting to connect with someone else. The station was filled with locals trying to sell you something. And there was a lady who just went up to people and just shook their hands and hugged them. And I could not remember the last time I saw so much humility in someone's face. It really seemed to me that she just really wanted to say hello to people and show them affection, not really needing to sell something. Now here's something very odd. For some reason, the Uber you would call would either cancel on you or just not show up. You could see it in your app. They would just drive into the area and then just go away. They would just disappear. And this is something that happened to the other travelers as well. You could hear them talk about it. And we didn't know what was going on. At some point I had to force myself into one of the Ubers before he disappeared. And the driver turned around to me and was like, all right, you forced yourself into my car. Now I have to take you. I still can't explain it. I don't know what that was, and the only place this happened was at the Novo Rio station. Something is going on there with the Ubers. I don't know what it is.